Today's a WRAL weather alert day. We have a winter weather advisory in effect until 10 a.m. I'll show you who is still seeing some wintry precipitation and the conditions that you'll see.
Shots fired. We are trying to learn more this morning about an overnight shooting in Nash County. What we know from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
And possibly slick bridges. The WRAL Storm Tracker is in Wake County this morning as parts of our area are seeing a wintry mix. What you need to look for during your morning commute. Yep. Just seems like we just keep having a little winter weather here and there, but things are starting to subside just a bit as you're joining us this morning at 6 o'clock on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. And new this morning, we heard from Johnston County schools. They are closed today, and that area has been seeing a wintry mix this morning. Let's get right to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the precipitation.
We'll start here with dual Doppler 5000 radar. First off, with the big picture, and you can see anything that's falling is south or east of the triangle area right now. And of course, you caught that glimpse of the storm tracker. It looks dry in Wake County. But from Fayetteville up through Smithfield and Goldsboro, we've seen some precipitation falling over the last couple of hours, and roads are wet here, and so it could be slippery on bridges. You just want to watch out for that. You're seeing the purple shaded area. There was a little bit of a freezing glaze on my car this morning and a few flurries, and now that is pushing eastward. There's not going to be any accumulation. The only real threat for this morning is going to be those slick bridges. The low pressure system that brought us the wintry mix is moving out of here, and it'll be over by the time we get to lunchtime. You can see here on Futurecast, it does continue maybe until around 8 or 9 o'clock in our southeastern counties, and then we're done with it. We may actually see a little bit of sunshine toward the end of the day, but it is going to be fairly cloudy and chilly for today. Our chance of precipitation drops off pretty steadily by 10 or 11 o'clock, and then we're done with it. This is a live look at Fayetteville, where it's still just sprinkling a little bit, and you can see how wet the streets are. Be careful there. Temperatures 32 degrees. We also have a northeast wind at 9 miles per hour. We'll check in with the wind chill coming up in just a few minutes. We do climb to upper 30s to around 40 degrees, but it stays awfully cold through the weekend. We'll check that out in just a bit. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, happening now, we're going to make sure that you know what to expect as you get ready to head out. And as Elizabeth just mentioned, those elevated surfaces like this bridge over I-40 there in Durham, just be mindful of that because those can be a little slick this morning. We are seeing those damp road conditions. That's US 164, but traffic flowing nicely at a nice steady clip. We do have the WRAL Storm Tracker out on the roads this morning, giving you a first-hand account of what you can expect. Let's check in with Flint Snyder and photographer Charles Bradley. You guys are on I-40 right now, and you've been out since we've been on the air. What are you seeing now?
Hey, Ken, good morning. Yeah, we're 40 west approaching US 1 right now. We'll give you a look at the roads. No precipitation falling here, and the roads have dried up a little bit since we've been on them this morning. However, we have seen a light glazing of frozen precipitation on cars coming from areas south and east of Raleigh where they are getting that wintry mix this morning. So just know that that is a possibility. And with road temperatures at or below freezing right now across the triangle, the concern and possibility is there for some slick spots, especially on those bridges. However, right now, we see speeds remaining normal right now. The volume is starting to pick up as more people head on the road. So just use caution if you do have to head out, especially on those bridges with the possibility of some slick spots as this wintry mix makes its way through parts of our area, Ken.
Some excellent advice there, Flynn. We appreciate that. And as we take a look at those routes coming into the Raleigh-Wake County area, you're coming in from Wake Forest, Knightdale, Garner-Johnston County, I-40 eastbound, even coming in from Apex and US 1, all delay-free relatively at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
We're still following a breaking news story in Nash County as we're trying to learn new information this morning after we're hearing about a shooting that involved deputies firing there. And this happened around 11 p.m. on Tom George Road off Taylor Store Road, just north of Nashville. In fact, Ali Kavdabar is in the WRAL breaking news tracker at the Nash County Sheriff's Office. Ali, we are expecting to get some kind of update later this morning.
Yeah, Nash County Sheriff's Office says, Chris, that they're expecting and planning a press conference with the sheriff to give us some more clarity on just what happened last night at this home. You're about to see on this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. We saw deputies investigating this house on Tom George Road. We also saw a rifle set up on the street in front of it. Now, Nash County Sheriff's Office did confirm with us this morning that a person was shot. Shots were fired by deputies, and no deputies got hurt. But we're working to find out the circumstances that prompted deputies to be at that house. Of course, we are keeping you updated on WRAL. We have reached out to Nash County Sheriff's Office to learn more. And when that press conference happens, WRAL will be there. Reporting live in Nash County, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center. New within the past 15 minutes, Johnston County schools will be closed today due to weather. We also know that Wake schools and Durham schools are going to be on a 2-hour delay. This is our map that's going to show you all that we're seeing as far as closures, delays, or students going to be remote today. It looks like Sampson, Wilson, and Halifax will be the only school systems in our viewing area that will be remote. But again, Johnston County will be closed today, so students will not be in the classroom.
That's a good update for parents to know. Thank you, Kelsey. Well, power is back on for more than 1,000 customers who lost it after a crash in Raleigh. Police say that a car hit a power pole on East Millbrook Road last night, and utility workers were able to get the power restored this morning. But the driver who crashed was not injured.
Austin Thompson's mother returns to the stand as the teen's sentencing hearing resumes today. Yesterday, Elise Thompson testified about the day he killed her other son and 4 other people. The mother explained how Austin grew up playing video games, was a good student in school, and often went fishing and hunting with his father before everything changed.
He left a note, and I'm like, you're just not comprehending.
She said she had not noticed any significant differences in how her son was behaving before the shooting. A live stream of today's testimony will be available on WRAL.com and on WRAL's YouTube channel. We have extensive coverage of this case on our YouTube page. That includes the most impactful moments from Wednesday's testimony, as well as analysis from our team of reporters.
People in Tucson are coming out to support the family of Nancy Guthrie. Hundreds of people gathered last night for a prayer vigil as investigators are searching for her. Her family is pleading for her return. Today's show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie and her siblings shared a video message to social media yesterday. Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday, and there have been reports of ransom notes being sent to media outlets in the area. Savannah addressed those reports in a video and has a message for whomever might have her mother.
We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
The legitimacy of the notes has not been confirmed by law enforcement. A White House official says President Trump has spoken with Savannah Guthrie and he is pledging federal resources to help with the search.
Today, we could get a better look at the town of Cary's finances. The town council is expected to hear the results of an independent audit. The town's finances have been under scrutiny after it parted ways with the former town manager. Sean Stiegel resigned a couple months ago. He is now under investigation for potential fraud. Mayor Harold Weinbrecht and Councilwoman Sarika Bansal responded to inquiries from WRAL about the audit, both saying they do not have details at this time, but they are looking forward to receiving the report. Some intersections in downtown Raleigh will be shut down tonight for water system repairs. Impacted areas include South McDowell Street at West Target, South McDowell at West Martin, and West Martin at South Salisbury. Detours will be in place starting at 8 tonight.
Happening today, the State Board of Education is set to vote on its priorities for the upcoming legislative session, and that includes a new special education funding formula. That is expected to cost about $200 million. And they also plan to ask for more school health professionals, more money for school buildings, and about $100 million plus for new student laptops for 4 years. The General Assembly hasn't passed a budget yet for the current fiscal year, but lawmakers are at odds over how much to spend and how much in taxes should be cut. It's 6:09 this morning, new lawsuit. The people affected by PCBs at Poe Hall and their family members have filed a second lawsuit, this time against Monsanto. We're explaining what they're claiming.
Sports fans, beware. Scammers are targeting Duke and Carolina fans. What you need to look out for ahead of the big men's basketball game this weekend.
And we have a pocket of wintry precipitation falling. It's very light, no accumulation, but we're looking at when that moves out and just how cold it is as you're heading out the door.
And we do have a look at your winning Powerball numbers right here on your screen. 27, 29, 30, 37, 58. The Powerball is 15 and the multiplier is 2.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612, let's start off with dual Doppler 5000 radar. We are still seeing a little bit of light precipitation from Wilson County down south toward Goldsboro, Clinton, over toward Fayetteville. It's very light and patchy, no accumulation there, but we could have some slick bridges. Anywhere it looks wet, temperatures are down below freezing, and of course, we could have some slippery spots on the bridges. So watch out for that. We'll likely have a little bit of light wintry mix in the forecast for the next couple of hours. By lunchtime, it should be all over, and then it's just going to be chilly and gray and damp for the rest of the day. Here's a look at Goldsboro, and you can see the parking lot is definitely wet out there, so watch those bridges. Anything that looks wet could be frozen. 32 in Durham and in Fayetteville. In Goldsboro right now it's 32. It's 31 in Garner and in Cary. School day planners. Some schools are closed. Matter of fact, Johnson County just closed. Some schools are on a 2-hour delay. If they're heading out around 9 or 10, temperatures will be near freezing, and it's just going to be chilly all day with a high of 40 degrees. Coming up, I'll track our next weather maker, which could bring us some rain for tomorrow. Ken?
Let's the weather and traffic every 10 minutes, and I can't stress enough to reiterate what you just said in terms of those elevated services. Just be very careful this morning. But we're not seeing any delays, so to speak, on any of our major routes coming into the Raleigh-Wake County area. Short of a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County on I-40 westbound. You're coming north on US 1 out of Apex, south from Wake Forest. No delays at this hour. Of course, we're going to keep you updated here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
We know you will. Ken, thank you. A group of graduates, former employees, and families of people who died after spending time at NC State's Poe Hall filed a new lawsuit. This one against Monsanto, the company accused of knowingly making and selling toxic chemicals used in building materials. The suit claims Monsanto sold PCB chemicals despite knowing of significant health risks. PCBs were widely used in building materials before being banned in 1979. Monsanto responded with a lengthy statement, reading in part, "The company believes these claims lack merit and will respond in court in due course." You can read that full statement on WRAL.com.
The State Board of Elections has blocked a woman from running in the Republican primary for U.S. Senate. Margot Dupre's candidacy faced a challenge because someone said she lived in Florida. Well, the board says that she could not prove that she actually lives in North Carolina. Her name is already on ballots that have been going out for early voting, but none of the votes that go to her will actually count. Dupre says that she will plan to appeal that decision.
A scam alert to tell you about this morning. This weekend, we will see the season's first edition of the Battle of the Blues between Duke and Carolina. State Attorney General Jeff Jackson says social media posts are trying to trick people. Scammers will post about some sort of family emergency and say they need to sell their tickets. The DOJ says they will then send counterfeit tickets. So it's warning people to stick to reputable platforms before buying game tickets.
St. Augustine's University says it has new leadership and a new financial partner, and this will help them in their fight to remain accredited and keep their doors open. The board appointed Dr. Jenny Ward as its new interim president in December, but the school only announced that change yesterday. It comes after Marcus Burgess resigned.
Happening today, the Trump administration is expected to launch a new online prescription drug platform. The website will be called Trump RX. It will allow people to buy certain medicines at a discounted price directly from drug makers. It's still unclear if these purchases will be lower for people who do not use insurance and just pay cash. The president says he has landed deals with nearly 20 pharmaceutical companies to list certain products on this new portal.
Leaders in Lake Lure say they are getting close to refilling the lake. It hasn't been open since Helene. Debris was all over the surface and deep into the water. In fact, teams had to drain the lake just to get all of that out. Leaders there hope to reopen the lake to people by May, but the exact date hasn't been revealed just yet. Our documentary unit recently dove into the state of Helene recovery. You can hear from people that survived the storm and leaders trying to rebuild their homes in Helene. What we lost, what we found. You can find that on WRAL's YouTube channel.
It is 6:17, and we've seen some rain across the viewing area, and some of that rain has turned into a light wintry mix, and that's creating some concerns for the bridges and how those could be slick.
And it's really mostly south and east. I think when you and I drove in this morning, the streets were dry on my drive in, but there was just a little bit of light precipitation.
So a little bit of flurries
falling out there. Not a whole lot. The winter weather advisory continues up until 10 o'clock this morning, and then after that, the threat should be over because temperatures will climb up above freezing. But we are seeing widespread freezing temperatures this morning. And again, just a little bit of light sleet and freezing rain, maybe even a flurry or two are falling, mainly right here along and east of I-95. So parts of Johnston County, Wilson County, then all the way down here to Fayetteville and Clinton, we're seeing a little bit of that light wintry precipitation. The purple shaded area means it's a mix. And so it's likely to be a little light freezing rain, a little bit of sleet there, maybe even a few snow flurries mixed in, but no additional accumulation. This is a look at rainfall. We need the rain. You know, it started to rain yesterday afternoon. It was coming down in some places. The area shaded in green is going to be anywhere from a trace to maybe about a quarter of an inch, but down here to the south, about a half an inch for Fayetteville, for Selma, over toward Goldsboro, and then 3/4 of an inch down across parts of Sampson County. So it was good to see some of that rain yesterday. The low is pulling out of here. We won't see any more accumulating precipitation through the morning. We check out Futurecast, and here's 7 a.m. Still the chance of a little bit of light wintry precipitation, but there's less than what's showing up on the model. And I think we're done with it probably around 10 or 11, if not before. And then we'll see a few breaks in the clouds through the afternoon, but it's still going to be breezy, mostly cloudy and pretty cold out there. Our next weather maker is a cold front that comes through tomorrow. A little bit of light scattered rain after lunchtime, and then it becomes windy behind the front. This is noon on Friday. We'll likely wake up with some sunshine tomorrow morning. And then once we get toward the evening commute, starting around 4 o'clock, we have the band of showers that roll through. It may be with us during the evening if you're planning to head out to a concert or to a show or something on Friday evening. It may be a little wet. And then after that, we are dry for the remainder of the weekend. So 40% chance this morning, 30% chance for Friday evening. And the chance of precipitation is pretty light for Friday, only around an additional 1/10 of an inch. It's chilly and windy on Saturday at 39 and an overnight low in the teens again. But then after that, a nice little warm up Tuesday and Wednesday. We get at 61 Wednesday, Ken.
Looking forward to that. And here's what you can look forward to as you get ready to head out this morning. We are seeing those damp road conditions here on I-440 and Ridge Road, but traffic is moving at a nice steady clip on that northern loop of the Beltline. If you're coming in from Cary as well, US 1, similarly, those damp road conditions not really affecting traffic in any way as we widen out the view, give you a look at some of those routes coming in to the Raleigh-Wake County area. No delays whatsoever, short of a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County on I-40 westbound. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
6:20 is your time this morning. Super Bowl scams. 5 on your side shows you the ways that criminals could target you ahead of the big game this weekend.
Clearing the ground from the sky. A city in our area is using drones to help clear secondary roads after last weekend's storm. The plan as our areas deal with a little more wintry weather.
Just a reminder, if you ever see breaking news or maybe you have a story tip or video or pictures of severe weather where you are, if you can do so safely, please report it to us at WRAL.com/report it.
When snow falls, everyone wants their street to be plowed, but sometimes crews have a hard time keeping track of all the problem spots. And that is why one city in our area is using drones to help. City officials in Goldsboro say drones are making it easier to decide where to send crews with plows, cutting down on time and resources. And that's not the only use. The fire chief says his department is also using it to locate missing people, assess structural damage after a fire, and more.
It allows us to get a head start, so to speak, and get out in front of something and try to get it working before, without having that delay.
Goldsboro is not the only city in our area that uses drones in similar severe weather situations. The city of Raleigh uses drones to capture footage to compare before and after a storm, as well as for park inspections, photography, and within the fire department.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
The iconic Budweiser Clydesdale returns to the Super Bowl and Coach Snoop Dogg at the Olympics.
All right, we got Ken Smith to talk all about it here and what's trending.
Yeah, we'll get to Coach in just a minute, but let's start with those memorable Budweiser commercials that will look a little different this year. It features adorable baby animals. The new ad tells the story of a Clydesdale foal that shelters and raises a baby bird, which later turns out to be an eagle.
Goodness gracious. Budweiser celebrating 150 years this year, and the company says this ad illustrates the brand's connection to the country's history. But I love how there's a storyline with these Clydesdale, because that's the one from last year. They was trying to learn how to become a Clydesdale.
It all comes together, and they know how to tug at the hearts with
every
those
time.
baby animals.
I know, they got you. But the other big story trending in sports, the Winter Games, and of course, that means rapper Snoop Dogg is in the house. He's in Italy in the 2026 Winter Games. There was a large crowd, understandably so, gathered around him as he took part in the torch relay. Snoop Dogg is also an honorary coach for Team USA.
And we all remember him at the Paris Games. He was the ambassador of happiness, the ultimate hype guy. And so the D-O-double-G will be back on the scene in Italy.
It's the D-O-double-G.
Work it.
All right, thanks, Ken. So Team USA athletes are getting ready for the start of the 2026 Olympic Games in Milan. Yesterday, members of the short track speed racing team got their final practice rounds in. And speed skating is one of the most successful events in U.S. Olympic history, with 91 total medals in that competition. The competition for short track speed skating gets started on Tuesday. And you can watch the opening ceremony of the Milan Cortina Olympics live on WRAL tomorrow afternoon. Do not forget, the spectacular celebration features the Parade of Nations and the lighting of the cauldron, and will replay on WRAL in primetime at 8 p.m.
It is 6:26. Nash County shooting. A person was shot during a deputy investigation last night near Nashville. What we know from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker this morning.
And Raleigh road conditions. The WRAL Storm Tracker is out this morning after parts of our area saw a wintry mix overnight. We'll talk about what you should look for ahead of your commute.
And right now we're focusing south and east of the Triangle. A little bit of that light wintry mix remains. That's where you'd have the best chance of seeing some slick bridges. We'll walk through the Futurecast and show you when it moves out.